GrokTALK. GrokTALK brought to you by GrokTALK.com and the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. Normally the emphasis is on taxpayers, but I changed it. See how we do that here?
I love this music. Anything with a rock organ.
Yes, I know. I think everybody knows that now.
Yes.
Hi, Susan. How you doing?
I'm well, and you guys?
Awesome.
Better.
So let's talk about...
Bad knee, huh? Wow.
And back.
Let's talk about guns.
He's all twisted and trying not to be bitter.
Well, yeah, there is that. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Miss Susan, how the heck are you? I love that little back and forth about the close examination of a candidate.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
I thought you might.
I'm not going to name that candidate because that event isn't lined up yet.
That is true. That is true. But there's all kinds of candidates in the state.
Yeah, the place is dirty with them.
One of which likes guns, and one of which is probably just a squish.
You think?
So who are they this weekend? We know that Jebby is doing the rounds with Fungi.
I love that. Have you put up that newest graphic?
I'm just finishing off a few words to go with it, and it shall be posted during the show.
And doesn't that grow in dark, damp places?
It grows in shite.
Yeah, it does, and it also
feeds off it.
It also is a blight upon the host body. In this case, New Hampshire and its GOP.
Don't be a mushroom. That's a pretty standard. Yeah. So.
Don't be a mushroom. Well.
Scott Walker is here.
He's actually a mushroom working in reverse because he tries to keep us in the dark and feed us horse manure.
Yes, he does.
So Jebby was in the state, and Scott Walker was in the state, and Ted
Cruz
is coming.
Cruz is in the state.
He's coming tomorrow.
Right, and so Bush is making a big mistake because he's doing mostly private parties, pandering to the rich that are going to pay him instead of the voters who are going to vote for him.
You've got that backwards. He's pandering to the people he's going to
reward if he wins.
Do you know any voters
that are going to vote for him, Mikey?
What's that?
I don't know any voters that are going to vote for him.
Oh, Fergus is.
Oh, well, certainly there's that, but
and the Sunoonome's probably going to vote for him.
Sunoonomes. I like that. That's a new one.
Yeah, I've been using that for a bit.
The Sunoonomes.
Yeah, you see, I'm actually looking forward to what happens when Lindsey Graham gets in the race, because then Kelly will have divided loyalty. She'll have to figure out whether she's going to vote how the Sunoonome tells her, which would be Jebby, or whether she's going to have to vote for Lindsey Graham nasty.
Ick. Ick.
All right, well, let's talk.
But Ted Cruz likes guns like we do.
Right.
Yes, he does. My only slight objection to Ted Cruz is that he's a fresh senator. I don't doubt the guy's sincerity and conservatism one little bit, but there's just something about a governor when it comes to being president.
Senator. Oh, there is something about a governor. Yeah, sorry, I see where you were going there.
I would agree with you, and the fact that he is a new senator, I think, goes to his favor. He did come out of the Republic of Texas.
And he's not tainted by Washington.
And he was a prosecutor, right? Is that correct?
He was indeed.
So he does have some experience dealing with that sort of thing. So we ate up half your segment talking about presidential candidates, and we wanted to talk about Second Amendment issues.
Second Amendment issues. Well, as you know, Catherine Red, White, and Blue Hair Rogers' universal background check bill got ITL'd.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Soundly in the House.
How could somebody with sharing a name put forward such an awful bill?
What?
Rogers.
How could somebody with that fine name put forward such an awful bill?
Well, because you two are not related, thank God.
Exactly. I'm most grateful for that, yes.
Yeah, no. She just introduced it because Elaine Ahem Andrews didn't get back in. So she did that for little Elaine out on the seacoast. But it got trounced. It didn't just get defeated, it got trounced. That's a good thing. As you know previously, and we talked about this before, House Bill 582, which is making pistol license optional, was retained in the House, so it was not voted upon this week. It's just going to sit around for a while. A couple of other things that were being discussed. One bill that would have prevented local state law enforcement from being required to enforce future federal firearms laws was defeated. Not a bad bill, but probably just not the right time.
But we are seeing that in other states, though, aren't we?
We are seeing that in other states. And New Hampshire had a lot of... we didn't expect so many gun bills, so many firearms bills this session. At least I didn't. And, in fact, I only really worked on one. But some of these bills, to my mind, that have immediate impact, like making licenses optional, I think are worthy of attention and deserve the full attention of both houses. Bills that are looking at things that may or may not happen, maybe we can put that off until next session. I don't know. But so far, the optional license bill still has traction, certainly the Senate bill. Crossover is, next week or the 26th? I lose track of time. So that bill will come over to the House and be debated in criminal justice again. I do think we have an excellent chance for that to pass out of the committee and out of the House. And then it goes to her radiance. And,
Her radiance. Go ahead.
Don't you like that?
I do.
I think it suits her. With that blonde hair.
Well, depending on her relations, actually, her relations are Turkish, but otherwise you could say her Iranians.
Her Iranians? Oh,
There
I
you
prefer
go.
to call her the golfer-in-chief minus the golf, so...
The golfer-in-chief minus the golf. Well, she's the chief executive officer minus the chief execing. But,
That's right.
yeah, so, and that kind of quelled down. But nevertheless, I do think that she will veto the bill, and we'll have 582, the House twin, to perhaps reemerge next session, and then we'll see if she does it twice when she's going to run against McAyott in 216. Although measuring their 2A credentials one against the other isn't much, let me tell you. So
No, it's not.
McAyott was not pro-gun when she was in New Hampshire as Attorney General, and I don't see any evidence that she's changed. So maybe her radiance might get better marks for either allowing one of them to pass into law or, in fact, signing one. We shall see.
It kind of defeats the purpose for all of the gun folks to vote against both of them at the same time, huh?
Kinda.
It's much
Kinda.
easier when we have one person to pick on.
Oh, but there's so many worthy of it, Skip.
Well, we certainly saw that in November, didn't we?
Yes, we did. But I'm hopeful that her radiance will remember, and McAyott as well, that it was the Second Amendment folks that kept Snot Brown.
Well, I think
being elected.
it was a confluence of a number of different issues, because certainly, as Jane has just walked in,
Morning, Jane.
Hi there.
it certainly was the case when Scott Brown decided to out-abortion Jean Shaheen. That brought in another conservative segment of the wing totally against him.
Yeah.
And of course, there are a number of us that are, in both. We sit in the intersection of both of those things.
And, that's a lesson that he miserably failed to learn from 2012, where he tried to out-abortion Elizabeth Warren and lost badly.
Yeah. Well, nevertheless, people should pay attention to what happened to Snot Brown as we start looking down the road to the upcoming elections.
Well,
Yeah, we have some pretty interesting descriptive terms for our rhinos, don't we? Snot brown, fungus cullen.
Papa Smurf.
Sinunome.
Smurf Daddy is still my favorite.
Smurf Daddy is nice. Surf Daddy is very nice.
well, the other lesson too that we're going to start.
He'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Oh, watch me.
Well, the other thing the top of the second, or the top of the ticket too, was when the candidate, Walt Havenstein in this case, literally insulted a big part of the conservative base with the teabagger comment. And I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen when Peter King comes to town. You know, the representative from New York who has who totally disses our wings of the party. And I'm quite sure that he will be a nothing Rand. He won't even approach also Rand.
Well, he's come out as a big anti-gunner.
Oh yes, yeah.
But maybe it's just osmosis being from New York. I don't know, but say no to Peter King as well.
Well, it is hard to get elected in New York if you actually have any Republican principles.
Or principles at all.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. You can't really be
Democrat
a good progressive and have any
Republican
of those because they get in the way of whatever it is you want to do next.
Exactly.
So,
you're gonna go. I know you got just about a minute before you got to go, but
you're good.
We will keep you apprised of what's going on with gun bills. We probably got another week or so before we got to look at Senate Bill 116, but we're working on our rogue Department of Safety and the question of suitability as it relates to multiple license denials. So watch this space. We're looking for an attorney, and could be fun.
I'm just curious. I've heard of a lot of license denials in the last year or so. Is that? I mean, I don't know how much history we have on this, but does it seem unusual to you?
Well, it does, and I think it's just because people are talking about it now that folks are stepping forward. I think maybe they were embarrassed or intimidated.
It's like that ozone thing. Nobody was really looking, and then they were like, "Oh my God!"
Exactly. So in the listening audience out there, anyone who's been denied a pistol license from their local law enforcement, please touch base with Granite Grok, and we will get in touch with you and include you in our work, because I think we have quite a bit of momentum.
All right. Thank you so much, Susan. We will talk to you again soon.
Super.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
When asked whether she still supports Obamacare, Senator Jeanne Shaheen said,
"Yes, I do continue to support the law. We're beginning to see some positive results."
How can Senator Shaheen say we're seeing positive results when 22,000 of our neighbors have already lost their health insurance? What's worse, the Boston Globe reports the state's only health insurance provider radically reduced the number of hospitals in their network, forcing some people to drive over an hour for lab work, even when there's a hospital within a few miles of their home. When pressed about lack of access, Shaheen said,
"There are some hospitals that are not covered, unfortunately, and I certainly hope that's going to change."
Jeanne Shaheen promised us we could keep our doctors and our healthcare coverage. Now she hopes we can get to a local hospital? Call Senator Shaheen at 603-647-7500. Tell her we need more than hope. We need leadership. Paid for by Citizens for a Strong New Hampshire.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning, the Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show, heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW, New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at GerardAtLarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
This is a coalition of New Hampshire taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is the repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
GrokTV.